Good afternoon, Glitter Angels. We are Set the Stage episode 3. So I'm with Coach Chris Milano, one of the personal trainers at VASA Fitness. So how are you been?
I'm good. You know, it's the seasons are changing. It's always a nice time of year. You know, fall feels like it's kind of coming in. You know.
Oh yeah, for sure. So disclaimer: I am not a licensed therapist, but I know you're a family doctor or something?
Yeah, I graduated medical school. I got into residency, and then I had a little mishap, you know, and made a mistake, and now I'm trying to get back into residency, hopefully, you know.
And you said that's a part of life.
That's a part of life. You know, we make mistakes and we learn from them and we grow, right?
Let's start with the first question. So, have you coached at previous gyms aside from VASA?
Yeah, I started at LA Fitness. First in Lake Zurich, and then they had me go to Arlington Heights. It was kind of like where I cut my teeth, as it were, kind of learned how to become a personal trainer. Had a lot of fitness knowledge, but was very green, as they say, in the personal fitness industry. And then I kind of, you know, LA Fitness is kind of like a big box corporate gym. They don't pay the best, but I got a lot of learning experience, and then I decided to come over to VASA because it was closer to home and they paid a little better.
So this was not the first time that you coached?
No.
Good, because like, was it like part of what you used to do is like your medicine practice, or totally different?
Well, you know, what's nice about personal training, it doesn't have a lot of benefits, but one of the great ones is flexibility of schedule. So I'm able to kind of pursue other, like, we'll call them medical experiences, opportunities where I can keep my clinical skills sharp, volunteering in clinics and hospitals, and I can kind of put that on my resume when I'm applying again, which I am right now. So that's why I like personal training, because it allows me to explore other opportunities, and yeah, that's why I like it.
Any sports that you did prior, like were you a student athlete?
Oh yeah, I love soccer. Soccer was my main sport. I went to New Trier, so that's a very competitive school for athletics, so I kind of had to just choose one sport or two, and yeah, so soccer was the big one, yeah.
So it sounds like you started at a young age.
I did, yeah. I had a twin brother, and so that kind of fueled the competition, right? You always want to be as good or better than your brother, and I think that's really helped us become into really great players, because we were always very good, and yeah, lots of good memories for traveling soccer as a kid.
You and your brother like to get competitive. You said you're from a big family, yes?
Yeah, I've got an older brother, a twin brother, and 2 little sisters.
When you first told me about that, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, we're all very close, and you know.
Because competitiveness does run in our Asian blood, right guys?
Oh,
it does.
Oh yeah.
It does.
Most definitely.
Oh man, we, no offense, but we Koreans were the angriest.
Is that right?
Pretty hot-tempered.
Okay.
It's like, ooh, blew a fuse, holy mama.
Okay. I didn't know that.
So, anywho. So what do you consider your specialty in coaching? Because I looked up your name a number of times, and how could you explain it?
I would say, you know, overall health. I do have the medical background, and I have my own personal history of losing weight, so I'm very good at helping people to lose weight. So I would say that, you know, also, you know, I know how to build muscle naturally. You know, I wouldn't consider myself a bodybuilder, but I'm more of like kind of like an athletic approach, you know, very natural and athletic approach, and calisthenics, and just like I said, just maintaining a healthy body weight is probably my specialty, because I was once, you know, probably 50 pounds heavier than I was at the beginning of COVID. I gained like 50 pounds, and I was able to lose it through, like, you know, running, cardio, and like weightlifting, and yeah, I never looked back. So yeah. Definitely,
COVID, I'm sure, was like a big weight gainer for a lot of us. It definitely was for me.
Sure.
So have you had a client similar to me, like similar goals of dietary restrictions, diabetes?
Sure, of course, yeah. I've had plenty of clients and patients with similar issues, you know. And diabetes management is not, it's a multifaceted approach, you know. You also have the lifestyle modifications, and there's also, you know, pharmaceutical options too. But I think most people want to see how much they can get done with the lifestyle modifications, like you're doing first, you know, exercise, diet, stuff like that. So, and I see you're being very serious about it, and I think that's more important than any kind of medicine you can take, is taking those things seriously.
Do you have any advice for newcomers? Like, there are people that are considering to start a gym membership, but they're hesitant to do so. What would you say?
I would say, like any habit, it takes time to develop it. It won't be easy at first, and the hardest part is just starting. I once heard a very good quote. It's called "Progress is just finding a good starting point." So just starting is the most important thing, and then building consistency. And those first few weeks are always the toughest, right? Because you kind of have to learn to like exercise. Most people don't like exercising at first, but then once you build up the habit, you kind of learn to like it, right? And it's something you look forward to.
Yes, it's something that eventually starts growing on someone. Could you tell a favorite part about the gym? Like, what do you enjoy when you're there?
Oh, I think, and it's not going to sound corny, but I guess the friendships. Dan, you know Dan, right?
Yes.
He's quickly become one of my best friends, and having someone like that to kind of like confide in and laugh with, I think it's pretty much the connections that you make. Those people that you meet, like
Yeah.
I think it's just very fulfilling.
Yes.
That's why I got into medicine. That's why I kind of doing personal training in the meantime. It's because I like to help people. I feel like that's kind of like my purpose, and that's what I like doing. That's what I get excited about, when I wake up. So.
Yeah, I feel the same when it's a gym day. I'm like, yes, this is what I'm looking forward to do. This is like the highlight of the day, whether good or bad. It's just like keep the positive energy going.
That's the best way to frame it.
When I first met him, I've happened to discover that we've got a lot of connection. Like he's from a family of doctors, I'm from a family of doctors. What goals do you have outside of career, like your career or fitness?
I guess I'd like to meet a nice girl and start a family, and I guess that's my biggest goal outside of a career, is just kind of having a more fulfilling personal life. I'm ready to find someone special and kind of settle down. Not that I was never opposed to that, but I just don't think I was consciously or subconsciously looking for that, but now I am. I've kind of aligned everything with that.
It's not uncommon.
Yeah, I think it's the natural progression in life to kind of have fun early on in life, whether that's 20s into your early 30s like me, but eventually you kind of want to settle down. What's
the biggest thing you've learned of, like, when you went to college or even like in med school, like you said?
Oh, I'll share this with you because it's part of my story. I mean, I told you I got through medical school and I kind of got into residency, and I got kicked out because I wasn't always being a very nice person. I wasn't the most emotionally mature person, and I'm not sure why that was the case, but like I said, I kind of had to go through that in order to like learn who I was better, So, I had to kind of, like I've always said, life is about contrast. You kind of have to go through phases of yourself that you don't want to be the person that you are. And some people are lucky enough to always just be that best version of themselves, but unfortunately, like I said, I had to go through being a bad version of myself in order to kind of to realize I wanted to become that better version, if that makes sense.
So it seems like some kind of like evolution of like, oh my God, this is like a rough time, but then that evolves into like something.
A learning experience, right?
Yes.
Kind of like a maturation of sorts, right? Yeah.
I mean, I'm constantly having to learn this even after college.
Of course.
I'm still thinking of film school and whatnot, and it's stressful trying to find a fit.
And it all seems negative, right? But
Yes.
I think the more we kind of embrace it and kind of see it as like a learning experience, and sometimes the hardest things are, sometimes the best, right? Like getting kicked out of medical school, I would have never found myself. I would have continued to be that. I wouldn't call myself awful, but I would have had those character flaws that I had, and probably would have kept on making the same mistakes. And at the time, it was getting kicked out of residency was the worst thing that ever happened to me. And now it's kind of like it's one of the better things that happened, because like I'm a better person now. So it's all about framing things in certain ways,
Well, yes, and also kind of reframing those perspectives in a way.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to fall into black and white thinking too much.
Sure.
My mentors would know this. They would know this. It's so true. What piece of advice has helped you in life? Like, it could be learned, like what's one thing you've learned, like from a mentor, or family member, or whoever?
I guess, I don't know. I mean, hard work. My parents were very hardworking. I didn't have the same upbringing that my parents did, which was harder, which is why I think they had better work ethic than I did. So I kind of had to learn through my own trials and errors that, hard work always beats talent. So I would just say that's one piece of advice, is just regardless of what your station is in life, what circumstances you find yourself in, you just kind of give your best effort, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because my mom went to she's not a doctor. She went through a phase as part of growing up in an Asian household. They expect the oldest child to pursue law or medicine, and as much as my mom tried, it didn't really fulfill her heart. She loves doing things with her hands, and but she still did good at science.
You got to be happy with what you do. You can't. I'll tell you what. My brother also went to my older brother.
Yes.
He didn't get fired from residency. He graduated from residency, and now he doesn't want to do it because he doesn't enjoy it. So, he's a doctor in name, but he just doesn't find it fulfilling, like we were talking about. So he's decided that he doesn't want to waste his life doing something that he's not passionate about. So I totally understand about your mom not wanting to follow that career, because you only have one life, and you should be really happy and fulfilled with it.
Yeah, the hardest part that my mom went through was because she was the oldest in her family. It was like the way of telling her parents, no, medicine is not going to work out. It was like a lot of weight on her shoulders, and I feel fortunate that as a second gen Korean American, I'm not doing that at all. I'd be really sucky at med stuff, people.
I always tell people, everyone always thinks, oh, you're so smart, you went to medical school. And sure, maybe to a degree, but I think going to medical school has more to do with discipline and being able to sit there and study for multiple hours. You still have to be smart to a degree, but I don't think it takes any, crazy exceptional talent to do it. I think, like I said, hard work beats talent every time.
Hard work beats talent.
Oh yeah.
Talent also can matter too. It's like you never know.
Sure, it's those intangibles, right? You either got it or you don't.
When you worked at your residency, like you were not the most like emotionally controlled or something?
Yeah, it was more of like you know what the word impetuous means? It means kind of like acting without thinking. Impulsive.
Yeah.
So I was being kind of impulsive, letting my emotions dictate my reactions instead of just thinking on my emotions, right? That's where the therapy came in. Therapy really helped me a lot too, with all this stuff. And so it took me a while to kind of evolve the emotional maturity and skills in order to deal with uncomfortable situations, right?
Yeah, I have a similar problem with that. At times my reactions are like off the charts to a lot of situations.
Yeah.
Like, that's what happens when you kind of get the Asian blood.
Yeah, you mentioned a little fiery, right?
Yeah, a little fiery.
That's
it's like
right.
hot.
Yeah, that's okay.
Aside from that, so how do you decide what workouts on what to complete for the day?
What workouts? I kind of follow a program. It kind of just dictate how my body's feeling. Some days I'll feel a little bit tired. I'll take a rest day.
Yes.
And my upper body's feeling tired, so I'll do a lower body, or vice versa.
Because I've seen you with your friend. You did like arm stuff, or because every time I see those arms, I'm just like, give me those arms.
Thank you.
Give me those arms.
I worked hard for them. That's
like,
what. Yeah.
I'm still developing on those.
You got great arms, man. You're just like I said. I think the biggest part is just consistency and sticking with it. You've gotten very serious about it. I think you're gonna be very impressed with how far you can come if you stick with it for a few years.
This may seem like a bonus one. Football season or basketball season?
I guess I'm more of a football guy. If I had to choose one or the other, I'm just not a big sports guy. Kind of stopped following sports very closely a few years back. But football. So keep it simple. I'm more of a football guy than I'm a basketball guy.
I'm asking that because I'm pretty sure football season is already there at my college, like with their games and whatnot, and I'm like, I miss the game day vlog.
Oh, the game days are fun.
You glitter angels would get it. There was one moment where I would totally be out and about outside near where our stadium would be, and I'm just like all like, hey, what up, blah blah blah, and like they love my vlogs so much. Do you have any favorite workout machines or like equipment?
I prefer, I guess, the free weights. Barbell, dumbbells.
Oh yeah.
Probably my favorite.
It's like a added resistance.
Yeah, exactly. You can kind of just, it's easy to gauge how you're doing,
What other states have you lived in aside from Illinois?
I've lived in Ohio for residency. I've lived in Florida for a little bit. Lived in Tennessee. I think those are the main ones. Yeah, those. Yeah,
so 3 states. Have you traveled outside of the country, like to Italy or something?
Yeah, when I was younger, like I said, very privileged and blessed to grow up, to go on like nice trips. I've been to Italy, I think twice when I was a younger boy, and it was a phenomenal experience. I got to see where my dad grew up, and yeah, very nice. I would love to go back someday.
Because my mom, she really wants to go to Italy so bad.
It's honestly, everyone wants to go to Italy, I feel like. It's like the place everyone wants to go.
I thought you were full Italian when I first met you. Half?
Yeah, my mom was like English and Dutch and Scottish. I forget.
You're technically European.
I'm European.
Technically.
Yeah, white. Yeah, Caucasian.
Well, like, I don't want to call any white folks out. I don't want to.
No.
You're not the only person I know who is like that. There's a number of people that I've met.
Sure.
You glitter angels would totally get it. There was one moment where I saw you like completely clean shaven, but then all of a sudden it like whoosh, it comes back.
I know, I don't know. It's part of being
Italian blood?
Yeah, Italian blood, care, and I'm 37. I'm gonna be 37 in October, so I'm older, and my hair's going in, so.
Hey, no one really cares about that.
Okay, good. We're not ageist here?
We're not ageist here. We're not calling anyone out.
Okay, cool.
I'm sure there's a number of older adults that watch my vlogs, and that can get a little, I don't want to say creepy, but definitely exciting because they're definitely curious on what I'm up to.
Good, of course.
So when you were first coaching, were you at first thinking, I'm not sure if this is right for me, but then what made you change your mind?
Like,
did a friend or someone,
I thought about a lot of different things I could be doing. Like, it was a very, when I got fired from residency, I had another personal thing kind of going on within my family. Maybe I told you about it, but there's a lot of like, what ifs, what should I be doing? Should I still pursue medicine? And I kind of just landed on personal training because, one, I like being in the gym, and two, I like helping people, and three, like I mentioned earlier, it gives me the time to kind of pursue those other opportunities that might show that I still have some skin in the game in regards to medicine, so I can kind of put it on my CV, my resume when I apply like I am right now. So that was that was it.
It was like deep down in your heart, like you felt like it was also was it also the time you were having a rough time or something?
Like I said, when I got kicked out of residency or fired, at the same time my mom was kind of passing from like a very sudden illness, and so I was just like very brain was kind of like all over the place, not able to kind of like think properly. And then as the dust settled with her passing, it was just like, I do want to kind of pursue personal training, because if medicine doesn't work out and I don't get back into residency, this is kind of what I see myself doing. So it's like a contingency plan, right? So if that doesn't work out, I can just kind of seamlessly kind of transition into what I'm already doing. Yeah,
it's kind of like the whole rejection is redirection. Rejection is redirection. That's what I'm constantly having to learn.
I agree.
I was applying for the New York Arts program, going into my junior year, and got through the interview. I thought I was told to answer questions from like what they were giving me to answer, but it was not. It totally made me bawl so much. And then when I got the email saying that it's not going to happen, I was upset. I was really upset. I wanted to get even with myself so freaking bad.
I can empathize. I know how that goes.
I thought my film journey was over. I thought it was game over for me. Deep down, it was like, Viv, we have our tough moments, but you can't give up now, sweetheart.
Yeah, fall down 7 times, get up 8, right? It's not about what happens to us, it's our reaction to it, right? So we can either...
I was going to say, what are you, a fortune cookie?
Something like that, yeah, pretty generic. But, I think sometimes the most generic advice or sayings or euphemisms are the most applicable.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
When pursuing medicine, were you pressured by your family, or?
Yeah, not to circle back to my mom or anything, but like I mentioned before, there's 5 kids in the family.
You said
right?
you're from a family of doctors.
Family
did you feel
5.
pressured, or
well, my mom
choose?
kind of saw everyone's potential, and not saying that any one of us was smarter than the other, but she kind of just realized that me and John, my older brother, who went to medical school too, she kind of pushed us towards that, because she's like, you can do it, why not, and she was right, I could do it. No problems academically, and I guess I was kind of, I wouldn't say pushed is kind of an aggressive term, but gently directed towards doing medicine because my mom saw my potential, and she was right.
That must have been hard for you psychologically.
Oh, sure.
Like during the time you were going on about your residency, right? But then you found out about your mom, and you had to come back home. And
Yeah, I think that had a little problem.
Sorry.
Had a little problem during residency, and then my mom getting that diagnosis definitely didn't help things because she was kind of the person I went to talk to, and the nature of her disease, it kind of changed her as a person, in her head, the brain tumor. So. So she wasn't that kind of that cool confidant that I had always. She kind of just turned into like the shell of her person that, so it was, we won't get into it too much, but it was sad.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, thank you.
It's just a whole lot of emotional stuff. You're not in this by yourself.
Oh, I know. It's the part of life,
It is.
Unfortunately, everyone's got to go through it one way or another.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, but eventually, you seemed pretty close with your mom, is that correct?
Yeah, we were very close. It was, like I said, what happened was, I got fired, and I was like, my dad called me and told me about it, and she's like, I know what that diagnosis meant, so I just kind of came home and helped with like the caretaking duties, because she was declining so rapidly. So I was like, that was a great silver lining of getting kicked out of residencies. I got to come home and be with my mom for those last few months. So there's always silver linings and things, it's not all bad, mostly bad, but there were some nice things in there.
Like eventually the residency might not have worked as you planned or you hoped, but you still got to see your family.
Still got to, exactly. Got fired, but I got to come home and spend time with my mom,
Okay,
so that was nice.
Good.
That was nice.
Like definitely in the midst of my rough times, I'm still constantly thinking of like, oh my God, because when I saw my doctor the other day, my anxiety and depression just started like increasing. Well, I'm saying this because September is Suicide Prevention Month. Mm-hmm. So, like, please, guys, check in with your friends and your loved ones and just tell them what's up, let them share. Right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
I mean, you're also a coach, so
I'll definitely be checking in with people. I try to always. Like I said, somebody struggled with their own mental health and kind of journey through it. I know how important it can be because that was my problem. Not so much the academics or the physical health. It was always kind of mental health. So I know how tough that can be, and so I'll be checking in on people.
Like when I first would come in, we were just like, "Hey, what's going on?" It was like kind of like a little bro sis moments.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I miss a lot from school, like from college. Because when I'm at the gym, it's like I could be me without having to censor myself or put on a mask.
Yeah.
It's like being authentically me.
Of course, that's what you should be.
That's what it feels. Wouldn't you say like the hardest part in college was like, wasn't it like your senior year, like your last year of soccer that you finished?
Yeah, it was tough, man. Leaving even medical school, leaving behind your friends, that was very sad. Those like it feels like an end of an era, and it's hard to deal with. I totally get that. Medical school was so much fun. Studying with my friends and building up those friendships, and then it comes to the last semester and you're like, oh man, this is over. We're gonna have to go our separate ways and we're not gonna have these times anymore. So I can empathize with that feeling too. It's tough,
With the moment it was a bittersweet moment for you in concluding your sports career.
Sure.
I'm sure it was a lot for my athletic friends as well. And I know what you Glitter Angels are thinking. Yo, Viv, it's been like God knows like almost 4 months and you're still not over that.
Right.
It's hard to let go.
It's an adjustment.
It is.
I know.
Well, like you said, we got to find the silver line.
Yeah, that's right.
Cliche, but true.
Just saying, life is the only constant in life is change. Another cliche. So.
But even after your sport and everything, I'm sure you still got the agility or endurance.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's for me. Keeping myself in physical shape has kind of provided it's helped my mental fortitude as well. It's really, when things haven't been going great, it's like at least I have my health to kind of, fall back on,
Yeah, at least There's a lot to be grateful for in health. It never lies, people.
Yeah,
it never lies.
I totally agree.
Well, this has been completely delightful.
Thank you.
Chris.
I agree.
And hopefully we could get some new viewers watching this and some incoming members. I want to continue spreading the positive energy as I should.
You do such a good job of it.
Thank you.
You really do.
All right, Glitter Angels. So this has been Set the Stage episode 3. This was super fun to film alongside with my coach. So hopefully this has given you a lot of motivation and keep you going in life as intended. For more awesome stuff for my channel, please make sure you like, subscribe, and don't forget to stay up to date on the current episodes that we have. And if you haven't checked those out, I encourage you to do so. They can be found on the playlist. And we talk about anything and everything. And also be sure to keep the questions coming and keep the ideas generating. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in the next episode /vlog. Have a wonderful day. Bye.